Hi guys, this is just a quick video to follow up from my previous AliExpress video that I made. Recently I purchased loads of different cheap products from AliExpress and I did say that it would take up to around October for them to arrive. However, last week I was on holiday and whilst I was away I had a delivery of these 5 items right here. So I thought instead of keeping you waiting the whole time all the way to Halloween, I thought we'd start releasing some of these videos and some of these products now, and then come Halloween time we're going to be releasing the full video where we just get straight into the action and we start using these all together. Okay, so I thought I'd jump in with the first item in question, and it's this right here, a tyre brush. Now I paid £3.33 from AliExpress. However, since I recently went on that website, I have seen it cheaper elsewhere. And we will talk about that later on once we have all these products out the way with. Now this brush here looks absolutely identical, just as I originally thought with my current tyre brush that I'm using. There's not really much difference in that at all, apart from the dog hair where I tried it out on my Labrador earlier on to see if it get the hair off him. But nevertheless, this is a pretty good quality brush. Feels nice and solid. It's got this nice arch here as well. So basically when you're cleaning the tyres, the brushes are not going to hit the ground. It's going to be the plastic here which is going to touch the surface of the ground, so you're not going to be picking up any grit or gravel, which means you're not likely to get any of that dirt onto the wheel and you're less likely to scratch it. Great design, nice and light, but still solid nevertheless. Quite impressed with that. For £3.33, that is an absolute bargain, considering the average price for these is about £7.50, and that's if you go for branded brushes. Next up we have this wheel brush. Now I paid about £3.61 for this particular model. It does feel quite cheap, I'm not going to lie, so it's going to be interesting over the next few weeks how it can really perform. But nevertheless, I think the design is quite good. It's very light, so it's quite easy to manage. The fibres don't feel like it's all falling to pieces already, which is quite a good thing, because normally when you get these cheaper brushes, you could literally start pulling them out like they got alopecia. And you're just thinking, okay, this isn't going to last 5 minutes. So it's a good start. And it's also quite flexible as well. I don't know whether that's... oh God, I heard a crack then. I'm not going to try and bend that too much. I think it's supposed to be slightly flexible, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I don't really want to start breaking it, otherwise I'm going to have to fork out another £3.60. It's also got this little foam pad here, which is basically designed to stop you from damaging your hands, because how many times in the past where I've had a wheel brush, stuck your hand in and you've caught it there and it's had blood all over it and you're thinking, oh my God, that really hurts. Even if you've got gloves on, you're still going to rip the gloves and it can hurt, and that's why I've probably got so many cuts and scars on my hands. So this is quite a nice feature. It is a cheap and cheerful brush, but for £3.61, this might actually be quite a good bargain. So we're going to find out in October just how good this one really is. This is the next brush that I purchased for 91 pence. Now I have seen these going across the UK on average between £9 to £10 with different colours and logos. If these are identical, and I'm not saying they are, but if they are, then you will be saving a ridiculous amount of money. You're going to be saving a good 90% off the retail price in the UK, which is definitely worth a look. My first impressions of this brush are, it's light, it doesn't feel amazing quality, I'm not going to lie. Some of these bristles here feel like they could easily just fall out. In fact, some of them are falling out. And I will say this though, it is very soft. Is it softer than my current soft brushes that I'm using? To be honest with you, no, there's not really a lot of difference in it. There's not, but you still will have a few uses where this would be quite practical. And it's always good to have a load of different brushes. For example, if you're using soft brushes and you decide that it's a good idea to start using them on the pedals of your car, and let's not forget, if you're somebody who goes in many different public toilets and you're out and about, there's all this germs and bacteria that you're going to be putting on those pedals. If you start using that same delicate brush and then you use it on the steering wheel, you are literally passing all those germs across. So it's always nice to have loads of different brushes. Honestly, I could buy 10 of these and I would be very happy if I dedicated them for things like your steering wheel and the gear knobs and a few other buttons. Things that you are going to be using your hands with, especially if you're somebody who does eat in the car. My next purchase last week I made were these touch-up sticks. I paid about £2.85, I think, and you get 100 in a pack. It's quite cool. They come in like a little Tic Tac box. And I think that's quite good because once you're done with them, you're probably not going to use them again. So you can just chuck them out afterwards. For £3.85 for 100, I'm not even going to do the maths on that because that's way too difficult. but I have to say that's probably going to be good value for money nevertheless. Now the thing is with these, I'm going to say they are small. There's not going to be a million uses where you could use them properly. If you don't have a steam cleaner or a tornador, then this would be good for using on the gear lever or around the indicators where you've got those little gaps. And you could also use it on the steering wheel. There's plenty of other uses there for it. As for other parts of the interior, I don't know whether you could probably use them in the leather seats where you've got the crevices if you don't have anything like an air compressor as well for that. There could be plenty of uses here, so I'm going to try and explore some this week. As I've got about 100 to get through, I'm not going to be using them all in that Halloween special that we've got coming up. So I may have a little cheeky play around with these beforehand. I suppose there is another alternative use for these. You could use them to unclog some of your caps if you don't wash them out afterwards, which is something I always do. I always forget to do it. I'm basically trying to come up with as many different options as possible for these sticks. I do like them, £2.85. I think they're going to be another winner. Now we just have one more product to try out, and that is what I've got in here. This is a clay block, if I can get into it. Here we go. I paid £2.99 for this, I believe. It doesn't quite feel the same quality as the more expensive clay blocks out there. The average prices for the more expensive clay blocks are going to be between £10 to £15. I paid £2.99. I'm not going to hope for a miracle, but I will be doing some comparisons later on in that big video where you can see the main differences. However, I have to say, because it is so cheap, you could get 5 of these for the price of 1 of those. So it is going to make a significant difference if you did want to stock up, and it turns out that they are actually good. Okay, so I'm sure you're going to be wondering how much I paid for these 5 items, but before I give you that answer, I want to tell you how much all of this right here would cost you if you paid the full price from the average UK detailing store. Now I have collected quite a fair bit of data here, so I've got proper figures here that I think you're going to be quite shocked when you find out. For those of you thinking this is going to cost you £50, you are wrong. It's actually going to cost you £57 13p for these 5 items on average. That's if you were to go for dedicated branded items. Now we do have this clay block here. Like I said, I've seen it for £15 elsewhere. We've got this brush which is branded. I've seen it elsewhere for about £7. And then we've got all these other bits. And like I said before, this was £10 just for this brush alone because it was rebranded and it had different coloured bristles. That is crazy to think about it. If these really are identical to what we're seeing in the UK, I'm not saying that you're going to get mugged off because people do have to make a living. This is how business works. It's not just car detailing. It could be Calvin Klein selling pants that they paid some child 10p to make, whereas they're selling them for 50 quid. You know, it's just basic business. So I'm going to take all of this now and I'm going to reveal the final total cost of all of these tools. So bearing in mind the grand total of these tools was £57.13 if I was to purchase it from major retailers in the UK. The grand total for all of this purchased on AliExpress, £14.69. That is a significant saving. And when I say significant saving, it's actually going to save you £42.44. You are welcome. And if you love videos like this, then don't forget to check out these 2 videos right here.